Life is ephemeral. You enter the world, and for a fleeting moment in time, you have a chance to leave your mark on this existence. You love, you laugh, you cry, you share experiences, emotions, and bonds with other human beings. And ultimately, you die. For me, in the past year, the reality of death became, for a moment, magnified and almost certain. Last year, I was diagnosed with a large blood clot in the deep vein of my left leg, stemming from a karate injury. Uh, for an entire month, it was misdiagnosed. It was misdiagnosed 3 times as a strain, as a calf strain. Um, Muscle strains and deep vein thrombosis, which is the clinical term for a blood clot when it's in your deep vein. They both exhibit similar symptoms. There's the warmth, the numbness, and the swelling. Uh, when the pain started moving up my leg into my groin area, then the doctors got a little suspicious and they decided to do an ultrasound. And lo and behold, they found that I had a huge clot. Um, it was pretty much throughout my entire leg, and my leg was just like super swollen and painful. Um, so that night, I was rushed to the hospital. I think I've seen so many doctors that night. I mean, more doctors than I've seen in my entire life. Um, I was legitimately freaked out. Uh, I never had an illness that a little cough syrup couldn't cure or a week of rest couldn't cure. Uh, it's pretty serious. It was the doctors couldn't give me a for sure answer on the outcome. It was you should be okay, and we think you'll be okay. Um, so I lay in the hospital bed that night, kind of desperate. Um, my entire family is on the East Coast. I live here in California on the West Coast. My best friends here on the West Coast were out of town that weekend. Um, so seeking answers and some other reassurance, I searched the internet that night in the hospital bed, and I came across a few message boards, statistics, and some outcomes were good, but also some outcomes were tragic. Um, because my clot was found 3 weeks after it originally occurred, uh, any type of procedure was ruled out for me, and I would just have to wait it out. I was told I would have to wait 6 months to see how much the clot dissolved, and to kind of hope that the swelling in my leg went down to just the normal size of my leg. Um, so I also, I just had to hope that it wouldn't break into a decent chunk and just kind of like drift through my deep veins up into my heart or my lung and kill me instantly. So I kind of felt like I was playing the death lottery, if that makes any sense. For these next 6 months, I could drop dead anytime. You know, uh, when I was discharged from the hospital, I was prescribed 2 different types of blood thinner to treat the clot, and for the first month, I had to take injections and also a tablet. Uh, the injections were the worst. Um, Not only do they leave temporary marks all over your belly, but the medicine is insanely expensive. Um, I think probably in that first month, I spent most of the money I saved to start my business. I spent it on medicine, um, which I mean, I'm not complaining. I feel fortunate that I had the money to cover the cost, but even with the good insurance, I have pretty good insurance. Even with the insurance I have, the medicine was still so expensive. So I couldn't imagine what it would be like for somebody else who didn't have the insurance at that time. I think in fact one of the hospital staff told me that they have to take the tablets by mouth and just kind of hope that that works for them if they if they don't have the insurance or the money to pay for the injections. So I felt very fortunate. Um, I guess that I had to use most of my business savings is what you call a champagne problem. You know, um, at least I was able to take care of myself. So I was very grateful for that. Along with the blood thinner, your diet must change. Leafy greens like spinach, kale, arugula, leaf lettuce, broccoli, peas, carrots, beets, peppers, most spices, are very high in a vitamin called vitamin K. And vitamin K counteracts the medicine's effect of thinning your blood. And so you have two options. You can either eliminate these vegetables from your diet altogether, or you have to consistently eat the same amount of these vegetables every single day. And it has to be a very small amount at that. So um, I'll be talking about my whole weight loss regimen and campaign in a few later episodes, actually in the next episode. But I lost the majority of my weight just eating bags of spinach and broccoli all day long. So just imagine, you know, changing that. Just that all changes in one day. So it's just like what, all the vegetables that I'm used to eating, I just had to pretty much stop eating. Um, so 2 weeks after being out of the hospital, um, obviously I couldn't run or walk or anything like that. Well, I mean I could walk on crutches, but I decided to get back in the gym and do some upper body work, some weights. And I think at that time, before I got hurt, I was used to lifting some pretty heavy weights. So, um, yeah, I figured my mentality was just like, I'm gonna work out whatever I can. Even with this clot, I'm gonna limp myself in the gym, and I'm gonna do something. Speed kills. I'm gonna kill something. I'm gonna kill these weights. Um, So I had my first workout. I was pretty excited because it went great, and I felt great. I felt kind of half like the old me again. And so I get back up to my desk at work after my workout, and I think not even 20 minutes, I noticed that I have two lumps on my arm, and I'm like, what the heck is that? Um, so I get rushed to the hospital, um, and come to find out, I had two hematomas. Now, hematomas are a little bit different. They're blood clots, but they're a little bit different than like a deep vein blood clot, and so they don't really carry the same danger as a deep vein, as a blood clot in your deep vein. These are more like just under the skin. And what I found out what had happened was when you lift weights, the whole purpose is to kind of break down muscle tissue so you can build, bigger, stronger muscle tissue. So your muscle tissue has tiny little blood vessels in there, and what happened was I'm on blood thinner, so the blood vessels are a little more fragile, and that's kind of what happened. So like they kind of burst into my skin, and kind of like blood just kind of like leaked under the skin, And when I was discharged from the hospital, I was advised not to lift heavy weights anymore. So not only did my diet change, but my exercise regimen changed. I figured I would at least be able to do some upper body workouts if I couldn't do anything lower body for a while. But I felt like my diet had been effectively taken from me. My favorite exercise had been effectively taken from me. My strength had been taken from me. And I feel like every man needs to feel strong. It's really important to me to feel strong, to be strong. Um, so over the next 3 months, my mental state was very fragile. Uh, one day I was happy. One day I was distraught and depressed. One day I was incredibly confident. Um, it was very up and down. Um, so yeah, I could barely walk when I got out of the hospital. So my leg was still very swollen. Um, I would compare the pain of a blood clot to maybe having like broken glass or maybe a bunch of tiny razors lodged into your muscle. And it's not like a pain you can just get rid of. It kind of sticks with you for a long time. Um, I think I kind of lucked out because the majority of my clot is gone. Now, and the pain is gone mostly. As you've seen, I run. I run 6 miles now. It's not something I thought I would ever be able to do again. I didn't think I was going to be able to really walk regularly again. But so anyway, yeah, I had a strong team of folks to help me, kind of mentally prop me up and keep me motivated. Um, I even had the neighborhood panhandler cheering me on as I crunched it to work. Uh, I bought him some egg sandwiches in the past, so I think he's just protecting his bottom line, just kind of making sure he gets those egg sandwiches in the future. But no, I appreciated it, and I would take any bit of encouragement I can get from anywhere. I took it. I needed it at that point. And I kind of feel like, to be honest with you, having this illness changed me in some ways for the better. Um, I feel like at times I'm very unwilling to open up or ask for help. I'm a very proud, very private person. But in this condition, I was exposed. I was humbled, forced to ask others for help. And I think it really helped me grow as a person. After a while, I started to see improvement. The swelling gradually went down. Pain was ebbing away. And I started thinking, oh snap, maybe I'll survive this after all. I got back into the gym. I did some brisk walking on the treadmill. I started lifting light weights. Everything was going well. I woke up one morning and I had a pain in my chest and I had trouble breathing. And went to the hospital right away. Found out I had a pulmonary embolism. And so pretty much what happened was a piece of the old clot broke off from my leg, and it actually did go through my heart and to the arteries in my lungs. Uh, I think at that point I had been through so much already that I didn't allow myself to fall back into depression or desperation. I thought to myself, hey, I made it this far. I know I have to make it all the way. Um, I think I really, I think my willpower is pretty much what got me through this. And I would encourage anyone who's going through any kind of struggle in life, illness, um, anything, willpower is what's going to carry you through this. I mean, after I got out of the hospital that time, I wanted to get my mind off of this. So I went out to the desert with some friends, and for the first time, I saw the Milky Way, the galaxy we live in. Seeing the mighty Sagittarius arm for the first time, it made me realize that there was so much more to this world, to this existence that I have yet to see or experience. The northern lights of Alaska, the pyramids of Giza, that storybook romance that you only see in a movie or in fiction. With my fortitude tested to its very limits, I realized that once again, I had found my will to live. And my dreams, they were bigger than ever.